Well. If it isn't Joe Tirado from System Era Softworks, here fresh off of his PS4 announcement. So now this game's on PS4. Astroneer. Nice game. Have you seen your signage?
Astroneer coming to PS4 November 15th.
No, you haven't released it?
Yeah, so it is November 15th. That is the planned release date right now. On the pre-order page it says December because it's not, fully locked in from Sony's side, but that's when we're going to be shipping it.
So have you been playing it on PS4? How is it running? Are people going to be happy with this?
Yeah, I think people are going to be really stoked. I think all of the work that we've been doing for all of the other stuff is now just going to get rolled right into the PS4 version. So yeah, we actually had it running here. I turned it off because we only can have 2 machines at once. But yeah, we're basically about to be done with cert and then we'll be finished.
So if you can port this to PS4, it means a crappy PC could run it, right?
Yes.
What about Oculus Quest support?
Are you?
What about Apple Arcade support?
I'm just gonna yes.
iOS?
Yes.
So Unreal Engine can run on iOS. Astroneer runs on Astroneer runs on Unreal Engine. Therefore, Astroneer could run on iOS.
All we gotta do is press the button to export it for iOS, and it works perfectly.
Yeah, and then you don't have to worry about input at all.
Yeah. We're basically just saying we don't want to do it because it would make people happy. The entire company has turned heel and just said, "You want this? We're not doing it."
I just remember you guys used to talk about how great Nintendo Switch was, or NX. You're like, "Oh my God, we got the NX in the office. It's so dope, bro." And then you did jack squat with it. What do you have to say to Nintendo about their dev kit? Thanks for that.
I love having their dev kit. It feels really cool, but that's about all I can do with it.
But you just play some Breath of the Wild with it? What the hell are you doing?
Basically, it's a Breath of the Wild machine. No, honestly, we would love to do it. We are thinking about all sorts of platforms that we can do in the future. There are some hurdles technically for us. Our terrain and the math we use is we're gonna have to do some work to get it to work. But right now we're focused on what we got, and we'll think about other ones later.
Here's a question about the tech.
And one other thing. Actually, the reason why we're not doing Switch is because you really want it, and so we're it's just a slap in the face to you personally.
Well, I'm going to stop sending you guys ketchup Doritos, at least for a month.
Okay, all right, yeah. If you lay off that, then we'll maybe consider it.
No, here's the thing, though. Your game, yes, it has online instances. That can be a challenge with something that suspends itself. It's looking at a game like how Minecraft is implemented on Switch, something that could help you guys, at least when it comes to developing for a handheld.
It totally. I mean, looking at games like that, it makes it easier to kind of wrap our heads around it. Like I said earlier, I think it's not necessarily that we don't want to do it. It's a matter of there are some technical hurdles because of the things that we do, like spherical planets and the fact that you can deform all the terrain in real time. Doing that on that hardware is going to be tough. And the problem is we want to make sure that it still looks good. We don't want to change everything and give people on Switch a lesser performance. We haven't really worked on it at all. It's just a matter of we kind of see where the issues are, and we're just focused on PS4, on Xbox, and on Steam.
Is it true that there were talks for an Astroneer amiibo that broke down, and that's why we're not getting Astroneer on Switch?
We basically said, give us an amiibo or we're walking.
I also heard that maybe Smash, either an assist trophy or actually playable character, was also on the table before you decided to go to PS4. Is that true?
It was either us or Shovel Knight, and Shovel Knight won, so.
I mean, that's fair, though, because, I think he has a little bit more pizzazz than... What's your character's name?
Astroneer.
Okay, that's right. Oh, that's right. I thought it was Astroneer. My bad.
Yeah. That's it. That's all we got. Just Astroneer 1, Astroneer 2, Astroneer 3, Astroneer 4,
Okay, so talking about the 4 Astroneers, are you guys looking at expanding the party size in the game to up to 8 people? And is there any roadmap for that?
So the biggest thing that we're working on for multiplayer right now is dedicated servers, and we're actually going to have a closed test for that in September. And if that goes well, then we'll start rolling that out, and that's going to allow people to have more players in their game. So
interesting. So that's September?
So we're doing the test in September. We're gonna like give it to certain people to like test it out, play with their communities, and then after that, there'll be a rollout a couple months later. So
What % of people that will be in the beta are Shackers?
Listen, Shackers, hit me up. We'll evaluate you on a case-by-case basis, but if you don't have that lightning bolt, probably not gonna consider.
Oh, so you're telling them that they should probably do Mercury?
They need to definitely do Mercury in order to be considered for anything in life. So
like now that your game's out on all the 3 important platforms, and you don't really need to cater to any other plebes that might only be able to afford a $200 Switch Lite handheld that releases in September, why do you guys keep coming to these events? Like, talk about how the game is evolving past launch and past early access. Like, where are you guys going?
I think right now we're having a lot of fun fleshing out the areas of the game that we didn't get to do in early access. And so like in this update that we're putting out next week, the exploration update, it's like focused on nomadic style gameplay. Like you don't have to worry about your base, you can go out further, you can set up little bespoke bases and then pack them up really fast. So we're just like having a lot of fun making new avenues for people to have fun and just like updating every month. So
do you guys support Linux?
We do not.
What about Mac?
We do not.
When are those going to come out? Before or after Switch?
Much like all the platforms, we got to consider them on a case-by-case basis. And unfortunately, some are more important than others. PS4 was a huge one for us. Sony's been really supportive, so.
And I think one thing that's cool about the game is showing off what's happening. We've seen a lot of content creators kind of really find their home in Astroneer. Streamers. Are you guys thinking of tools to build within the game to help people show off what they're building, what they're doing?
I think that's going to be mostly in the form of when we roll out dedicated servers, and then when we're going to start introducing experiences that don't necessarily require you to jump through all the hoops in the game of the core gameplay loops, just much like you would think of a creative mode in Minecraft. We want to make sure that the game can be a platform for your own content. So some of the stuff we're adding with the jetpack update are these ring platforms. So you can make your own courses, and that means now you can have races with other people and time stuff. So we're trying to add more fun in the sandbox. That way you can make it your own and then share it with your community. So.
And something I asked you about last year, and now that you guys have shipped, I want to ask you about it again. Are you guys, once the server thing rolls out, have you guys thought about doing in-game events that are one time, what Fortnite is doing with concerts or with the rocket ship or whatever?
Yeah, so we actually we're running one right now. It ends in a couple days for the Apollo lander. So we did a whole event where the day before the Apollo anniversary, the 20th anniversary, or 50th anniversary, sorry, we basically put the lander in the game, and if you interacted with it, you would unlock a cool thing, and it had all this audio from the actual mission, and that's gonna go away in a couple days. So we're starting to experiment with limited time events, so that way it keeps the game fresh, keeps people interested and engaged with it. So that went well, and I think we're just gonna continue doing stuff like that.
Do you think that there's room, Minecraft found this, is there room for Astroneer in the educational space? Because you guys are talking about the history of space and space exploration.
We get it all the time. I mean, there's actually a couple places now that have reached out and said hey, we want to put this game in our library, in the school, and stuff like that. So I think a lot of people sort of like the fact that it doesn't have combat, it doesn't have any of that sort of aggressive stuff, and at the same time, you can have fun with it, and it's not teaching, it's not a school game, but it has science elements that you learn from while you're just playing, right? It's not built to just only teach you something. You're having fun and you're experiencing cool stuff that you end up learning about.
So how many ketchup Dorito bags would it take for you to bring it to the most popular platform on Earth?
I think more than fit in your briefcase.
Well, I can send multiple briefcases of this. That's what I'm saying. I just want to know, is there a number? I know you guys got that Epic Games grant, and now you've been a success on multiple platforms. You got that steady income from that Game Pass money now. I'm sure it's a bigger number, but we're willing to crowdfund this at Shacknews with Mercury money.
I don't necessarily think it's about the Doritos or the ham sandwiches. It's more just scaling up the team in order to support something like that's pretty hard, and to do that artificially, just add 10 people out of nowhere,
I got an idea for you.
Please.
There is a trend on Nintendo Switch of studio houses that are basically port houses.
Yes.
Panic Button did that for Doom. I mean, Doom is a little more complicated than your game.
A little bit. Yeah,
You know, so-
but it's interesting because like, although Doom is more complicated, because Doom is like a static game, it's easier to just like turn down resolutions, you know, like make sure certain areas get clipped out. Whereas like in our game, if you invite 4 people in and all of you are spamming stuff and all of you are digging at the same time, or you're on one planet and you're on another planet in the solar system, the scale of like what needs to like happen and the networking that needs to go through the console, it's a lot. It's actually quite a bit. So it's quite a task to try and figure that out.
Oh wow! So this is it's really a physics problem more than anything.
It's a technical thing that like, and I'm speaking speculatively, like we haven't necessarily tested it, but we just know even while doing it on Xbox and PS4, like we're already running into those hurdles now, and it's going to become exponentially harder with hardware that is not on the same level. So.
Got it. So Astroneer on PC is still the best way to play it, is what you're getting at. So I should just keep playing it on my ultra wide.
You should. It probably looks pretty nice on your ultra wide, but we want the experience to be awesome for everyone. So
Just not Nintendo Switch owners.
only because you want it, fuck that, we're not doing it.
Okay, fair enough. Well, thank you for your time. Can you tell everyone to do it for Shacknews?
Do it for Shacknews
Oh yeah.
and do Mercury.
Oh yeah.